chugging along the tide like the itty-bitty fishing boats that scoop up the bounty of the mighty Pacific Ocean. It's DIA, or Dudes in Asia. What up, Dudamaniacs? As always, this is David Hayter.
And this is David Wynn, a.k.a. Triple Ed, Noogie Noogs Noogsley.
Are you ready? Here comes episode 44. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the future of Asia.
Yeah, Asia is definitely on the rise right now, particularly Southeast Asia. It's quite exciting to see the growth of it, and it'll be actually more enjoyable once we become part of it. Is that one of the reasons why you plan to come out here, Hayter?
That's right, man. Yeah, like just kind of looking at the opportunities, I feel like other countries in Asia besides Japan are very young, very hungry,
Yeah, completely agree with you there, man.
Worst places you could live.
Oh, definitely. What's new with you, Playboy?
Yeah, man. I think, last time we talked was in Taiwan, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so now I'm back in the USA proper. Currently recording in a tin shack in Southern California. I might lose a couple pounds, But no, it's been cool, man. I got back. We had a little party. I got to catch up with some old friends, Yeah. Like the homie Joe came through.
Nice.
Yeah, also Bruce, a couple people I used to work with.
Yeah.
So it's cool, man. But I feel like maybe starting in the next few days, I can actually kind of chill out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still had to handle some business. Like, I don't know, man, I could do a whole show about trying to get your pension money back from Japan. It's a pain in the ass. And then my passport was going to expire in January too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to renew the passport. But then it's you need copies of the passport to do all this other stuff. So it's been nuts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
did you already get for your Vietnam visa, or you wait for your new passport?
Yeah, I got to get the new passport because the numbers are going to be different, all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. But it's been cool, man, and I enjoyed that trip that I took to Korea and Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
But, definitely looking forward to chilling out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You've been on the grind the last few months, man.
Yeah, it sure has, dude.
Yeah.
So I feel like coming up I'll be able to chill out a little bit, but I feel like whenever you come back to America, there's always a little bit of that reverse culture shock,
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I remember I asked somebody that was in Japan for a while and he came back. I was like, so, how is it coming back to America? He's like, it's cool, but everybody's going to be big and loud. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, dude.
Yeah, man. But yeah, got up out of Japan and made it, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, just kicking it,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, I think we were talking earlier too a little bit, but yeah, this will probably be the last episode we do for a little while,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you got some stuff coming up too, right?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, I'll be on the state side in a little over 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
So that should be
doubt,
some
man.
good times, and obviously I think over there we'll probably have issues recording, but plus we got some new projects ahead of us that probably needs our focus anyway. So it's been a good little run, but we'll come back, with more content that makes sense for our viewers to listen to.
Yep. Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Anything else happening with you, man? It was good.
Speaking of you up and out of Japan, I'm up and out of Mingle.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's just a mutual parting of the ways. Pretty much I just wasn't needed lately, and it's just I was getting paid to just do English stuff, so it was kind of hey, you're getting paid more than almost everyone else at the company, just do some shit work, so
Yeah.
It's it's good, man. I got good timing that I figured something else on the sideline,
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, and then focus on the new business that I mentioned before. I actually have a client, so it should be kind of fun and interesting. We'll probably share more about that later once we come back. And then, U.S. trip, like I said, over 2 weeks away, so should be some awesome times.
Cool, man. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, the U.S. trip, you're just basically coming out to California then, yeah?
Yeah. The first week I'll be in SoCal, and then a week and a half I'll be in NorCal for my brother-in-law's like engagement / wedding, and then heading back to SoCal after that until the 12th, and then head out.
Right on, man. You also forgot to mention the part where you take the groom-to-be to the wild bachelor party in Las Vegas. Nice.
Dude, my my in-laws would probably rock me for that one, dude.
Yeah. And little does he know, it's actually the making of The Hangover Part 4. Hangover harder. No.
Hangover harder.
No.
Nice.
Right, so today we're talking about the future of Asia. A lot of things have been happening lately. They say that anybody can tell you what happened, but it takes an expert to tell you what's finna happen.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's crazy to think. Recently, Japan celebrated a kind of like a ceremony. It was like 1 year exactly till the Olympics are gonna happen in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man, especially after I've been traveling to Korea and Taiwan, I just feel like Japan is not prepared, man.
Oh, yeah? Like what way?
Yeah. I feel like doing anything in almost any other country was way easier and way faster,
Give me some examples, my man. Communication barrier, culture barriers, or what's up?
Yeah, pretty much all that, dude. I went to Taiwan, and get off the plane, and then we're all right, we're gonna take the train into town, and just went down to I was oh yeah, first you need to get money. It's just like Bank of Taiwan. You just throw money at them, they throw money back, you sign a paper, your outro.
Yeah.
It was super fast. When I'd exchange money in Japan, they're all right, I need to see this, I need to see your passport. You have to write this here, address or phone number or something, email. I don't even remember.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Way more involved, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Korea, you just get a SIM card, dude. Dear God. They need all your information. Is dude, just yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So can you imagine thousands, hundreds of thousands of people all coming into Tokyo at the same time? Everybody's trying to get cash. Everybody's trying to get a SIM card, and those lines are going to be jacked, dude.
Yeah, and it's already crowded as it is. And that's going to be rough, dude. You're right.
Yeah, and then also thinking about how there's no Wi-Fi anywhere. Checking into hotels, they want you to fill out all this stuff. Some places are still cash only, not taking credit cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that too are kind of the cultural norms, they say in Tokyo you're not supposed to talk on the train. People gonna talk on that train, man.
Yep.
And then you see people now, they got tattoos on their face, on their neck, on their hands. They're gonna be getting a lot of mean mugs, dude, as they roll around the city.
I think Tokyo's gonna be a very unhappy place for a little bit. Just for the locals. For the locals, right? They're gonna be what are all these people doing here? Right.
So see, this is how we're going to make our money, man. We're going to book vacations to Vietnam during the Olympics for people that live in Tokyo. We'll set up a small Japan town where they can do everything just like it's Japan.
For real, dude. For real.
And then we'll charge them Japanese prices.
Yeah, dude.
And keep the difference.
You want to get away from Tokyo for a little bit? Come to Vietnam.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that it'll be cool, and I think things will go all right, but I just really feel I don't know if they can pull it together in a year,
Yeah. No, just based on my experience there, I could already, I think you're right, dude. It's just because they're so set in their ways, and then you just mass flood them with a bunch of foreigners with different mindsets, because Japanese have that thinking, and just if you're in Japan, you're an artist, you have to follow our rules, but if you have that much influx of foreigners, they're not going to get that message easily,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
They just can do shit whatever the hell they want, and it's kind of fuck, That's all they're going to think about. It's Jesus.
Yeah, and then they're trying to explain to them in some limited English, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, they say they're getting a lot of volunteers and stuff, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
1 year, man. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you can only make that much progress in 1 year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I don't know, I've been looking at some other news too, man. Have you heard about how there's been like a kind of a trade war lately between Japan and Korea?
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, man. So it's like, I don't know exactly how it started. I think it was just kind of, like some people say it's kind of an offshoot of like the China, like U.S. trade war, you know?
Yeah.
But it kind of has to do with like all these treaties, like about what happened after World War II.
Yeah, it's like it's just like old stuff as well, right? It's like it's relevant now, but it's also like bring up the past about like the Japanese people had just like come in Korea and started like doing their thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like depending on who's in power in Korea, they're kind of cool with Japan or they're not cool with Japan, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like Korea's like, hey, well, you fucked us over in World War II. And it's like, well, hey, we'll fuck you over now. And they're like, oh my goodness, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing too is Japan is like being like very kind of like crafty about it. Like they're not just being like, all right, we're cutting off everything. Just like, you know what? We're just going to slow this down a little bit. We're just going to take our time, like sending you all the stuff you need, huh? See how you like that. Yeah. So like the effect in the meantime is that it's just kind of like the Korean like companies don't have this like the raw materials like chemicals and stuff they need to make like semiconductors, like other kind of stuff. And so it's like the economy, like the economic stuff is kind of like messing up the diplomatic situation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean it's kind of hard to see like where it's going to go in the future, but I feel like a lot of it is probably going to depend on like who's in power in Korea, like in the South, and then also like what happens with Korea in the North, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I read an article this morning. It's like North Korea is doing a lot of like testing of like missiles and stuff like that lately, and South Korea's like on full alert.
Yeah. Well, like from what I heard too is basically like the missile that they shot. Like most ballistic missiles, right? It's like an arrow.
Yeah, this one's,
and it comes down.
Yeah, this one's still different, right?
Yeah, so this one, once you shoot it up, you can maneuver it. Like it can zigzag.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and so what that means is that like the traditional like anti-ballistic missile stuff doesn't work. Like those are way harder to intercept, you know?
Huh.
But then I think like they went to Trump like, hey, he launched this kind of missile. What do you think about that? He's like, can't hit me. I don't care.
That's our Trump.
So,
That's our Trump.
Yeah, so it's basically just like, all right, Japan, Korea, go handle it. Like, you know? Yeah. But that's why, I don't know, man, it's just kind of hard to see, like, what's going to happen in the future, you know?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like,
No, it's
like everybody's like, oh, yeah, go for it, dude.
No, I'm sorry, kind of cut you off. A little side thing, too, was like, I recently read about, like, the Japanese that landed, like, I think it was like a satellite or some kind of thing on like a comet, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's asteroid.
Yeah, asteroid. Yeah, that's pretty.
Maybe both.
Yeah, that's still effing impressive though, dude. Like,
yeah,
like the moon is right there. It's a big bad boy, but to land on like like that moving object is pretty. It's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of cool to kind of see like space, space exploration still out there and. At least the Japanese are kind of moving forward with it. I mean, I think China's trying to get on the moon, and so is India. But still, it's kind of like, it was like what the Japanese did was actually like really low key because all of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, we land on an asteroid or comet. It's like, what? You know?
Yeah.
And here's the footage too. It's like, wow, that's pretty impressive, man. So I mean,
yeah, you hear like what the big goal with the asteroids and stuff is too, right?
Mine it, right?
Yeah, they basically just want to see what's on it.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's worth going to grab. You know?
Yeah, it's because it's like it's another commodity, right? Another resource that, hey, if I was the one to do it, land it, then, I could sell it, blah, blah, blah. So it's still a business transaction, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yep. But I mean, like the way things are going, dude, you can see America's kind of taking a back seat on some stuff, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe that'll change depending on who comes to power, but right now, like you said too, all these people are trying to go to the moon. They're all in Asia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, man. It could be like another kind of like, I don't want to say industrial revolution, but kind of like how we had the Cold War and the space race, you know?
Yeah. Another version of it, but like through Asian countries.
Yeah, like in modern times, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll be getting some sweeter technology.
I mean, yeah.
Like soon.
I mean, it's kind of much needed right now, right?
Yep, you'll be able to like turn your own pee into drinking water using a plastic bag. No. No.
Yeah, but it's like, that kind of drives innovation anyway, right? It's like the whole,
yeah.
So
exactly, man. And that's kind of like how North Korea was messing around too with their rockets. Just like, oh no, these aren't ICBMs. We want to put satellites into orbit. It's like basically the same thing. You know? Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to it. So your prediction is Japan's not really ready for the Olympics, right?
Pretty much. Like, I mean, I feel like the games will go off fine, but I feel like people are going there and they're thinking they're going to have like this really good time. And like they probably will, but there's probably going to be a little bit of headache with it, you know?
Oh, for sure, dude.
And then, like you said, a lot of the locals are probably just going to be like annoyed.
Yeah, and probably even like less helpful on top of that. You know, yo, like show me a good bar. Just like, man, fuck off. You know,
you don't speak no Japanese. Get out of here.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. So it's not just that open and friendly. Because I'm pretty sure it'll be a lot of people's first time in Japan, and everyone has that mystique and this built up image of Japan, but they still don't realize it's beautiful and traditional for a reason, and it's not exactly easy to navigate because of their tradition, right?
Yeah, I think that's a very accurate way of putting it. I don't know if I've ever told you this analogy. Somebody asked me for like, how is it like living in Japan? I was like, you know what? It's like if you're visiting like a really old dude's house, you know?
Yeah.
And like that dude is like really cool, you know, he works hard, but he also likes to drink a lot of beer, you know? And there are like certain rules for his house, you know? And like he's not going to tell you what those rules are. You know, he'll just be secretly judging you on how you do stuff, but he won't say nothing.
Yeah.
And so if you follow those rules, like you'll have a good time. But if you don't follow those rules, like you'll still have a good time. It just won't be as good, you know?
Yeah, because he's not going to open up either, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just like, oh
you get this way, huh?
Over there, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool, I guess.
That's I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I was thinking too, just about like, I wonder like if North Korea is gonna do something during the Olympics, try to mess with them, you know. I could see that, like depending on how things go.
That's a dirty thought, but dude, it's very, very reasonable, you know.
Yeah, that's how he operates, man.
Yeah.
Like there's, like if there's some kind of like big national event, like international event, he's like, hey, I want some attention. I'll go launch some rockets.
Yeah.
Test a nuke, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if things aren't like improving, like if he doesn't have a reason not to, I could see him doing some stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's you never know, man. War, dude.
Yeah.
People do what they gotta do sometimes, right?
Yeah. But then, like, I think, was it the Winter Olympics, they had like a unified Korean team.
That's right.
Know?
That's right.
So maybe, I don't know if they're going to be unified again, but if they are, then that'll probably be less of a reason to act a fool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then if there's somebody else, it's like, nope, no unified team. It's like, all right, enjoy your rocket test. You know? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then, like, I was reading some other stuff, too. I guess, like, some people are saying there could be a trade war brewing between the U.S. and Vietnam.
That's right, man.
You know?
I think, yeah, because Man, who the heck knows what's up with Trump's mind, man? Because he's like, he goes back and forth about his feeling towards China. And I think it's pretty well known that a lot of businesses are going to Vietnam instead, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, because they're also a communist country and just kind of like, well, I don't want to take business, you know, money away from China. Like, he'll start fucking with Vietnam if he has to kind of keep a good relationship with China, you know? But it's like, I don't know. I think, like, the seed has been planted already that Vietnam's the next economy that's probably really going to just, like, massively boom. And, like, I think maybe in the next 5, 10, maybe 10 years or so, I think Vietnam might be, like, one of the biggest, like economies and, like, destinations in, like, Southeast Asia. I mean, it's already, like, it's still, like, there's so much opportunity for it to grow. Considering what it is right now, on top of that, there's still way more it can improve on, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man.
So, yeah. I think that's my prediction. Like, the next, 10 years, like, Vietnam probably, like, maybe, like, the go-to spot that's not China.
Yeah, well, that's just, I don't know, I feel like we're kind of seeing how that model works, you know? Like, these kind of lesser developed countries that come out of communism.
Yep.
And they start off like super poor, but then like the people know how to work hard.
Yep.
And then like they actually start getting paid like what they're worth, you know?
Yep.
And then you start getting like a middle class emerging.
Yep.
But for me though, I wonder like if Vietnam is going to end up like China. Like I feel like maybe Vietnam is a little bit different politically.
Yeah.
You know? But we'll see how like the people in charge handle that power when they start getting a gang of money.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's,
you know?
it's so hard to say because it's like I mean, it's like it's obviously capitalism is a good thing for the people up top, right? But if you're in the position of power, like absolute power in a communist society, like you gotta protect your phony baloney jobs, man. You know.
yeah, that's true, man.
Because seriously, like every person I know who has a high position in any industry, any field, right? Every day they're drinking their asses off. You know.
Wow.
Like seriously, you're a doctor. You're like the chief. You're the CEO at a hospital. At a you have any position in like the government or like you're a police person. You're drinking every day. It is like because people are trying to buy you off. You know, and you're completely cool with it. It's like that's part of the game. Like wine and dine me, and then let's see what's up. Like, and they do that every day, day in, day out. People are trying to like, yo, dude, I want this favor, I want this, and they're just like, yeah, sure, okay, cool. Let me see what's up. Well, show me a good time, right? And if you don't show me a good time, then no, I'll think about it, right? And how could you, if you have that type of life, like, you know, and you already have the power, like, you probably want to protect that compared to like capitalism, right? So that's kind of hard to say, right?
Yeah, I feel you, man. Like, and I feel like, who is it? Like Xi Jinping was the president of China, like he is now.
Yeah.
And I think he cut down on a lot of corruption and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably worse than just kind of like whining and dining, you know? It's probably like other stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like unless the government really has a problem, it'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And like, as the government gets more money, it'll probably expand too, you know? It's probably be more of that happening.
Yeah.
You know?
No, Vietnamese people just love like alcohol and good times, good food, you know, and probably like good women as well. I was like, that's my take, dude. Seriously, because it's so easy here and just like, show me a good time. Because the whole culture's built like that. Just like, who knows about tomorrow? So tonight, let's get drunk, have some good food.
Yeah.
You know, and then just go from there. And
yeah, well, and especially too, when you think about like war times and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like they had conflict for a long time, you know.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard to say like if it'll really fully transition out of it to like a more capitalistic society. But because like just the people in position of power is like, dude, it's too nice right now. Like I don't want to lose this, and the people under me who will inherit it don't want to lose that either. You know, they're working for that. So it's like, you know, they'll probably do whatever it takes to protect that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, like maintain the status quo, huh?
Yeah, because I remember like I read an article like I think like 2 years ago, like a really really high ranking person in the government, like he did like he drunk drove and he like I think he killed like 6 people, dude. Just ran over some
Holy
people,
crap!
and all he did was like he just paid those families like $10,000 each. That was his sentence, you know. It's like, what the that was it. That was it. Seriously, no jail time, no nothing. It was just like, just cash it away. And like, because it's a communist government, you can do that, you know, you can do what you want, right? Compared to, like a full democratic society, it's like, no, he's got to pay the price like any other person. It was like, no, I want to protect this, man.
Right? Yeah.
So like, that's where it's kind of hard to say, like, how much they'll fully embrace it, but people want power. And absolute power goes a long way. So I like, to me now talking about it, I think it's really hard for them to let that go, to fully embrace something more capitalistic.
Yeah, well, you know, now that we kind of like talk about it, man, like it seems like it's almost safe to say that maybe like the income gap will widen.
Yeah, you know? For sure.
Like, so like most people will start making more money. Like the people on top are just going to become like crazy rich, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So then maybe like depending on what the government does, it could get like super out of control.
Yeah.
Or just like, you know what I mean? Kind of just a little out of control.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing too, I think though, like about the trade war stuff is I think it also really depends on if Trump gets back in the White House, you know?
Yeah. Is there round 2 or not?
Yeah, because like right now there's just like a year, like he could, I mean, I don't know. I always say Trump has time to screw things up.
Yeah, but it's like I think now that we're finally like old enough and seeing a lot of things happen, like you really can't do that much change in one term.
Yeah.
Really, like honestly, like term 1 is like establishing it, and then term 2 is really executing it. But like if you're in and out for one term, like you can't do much. But granted, like what all of our presidents in our life, like since like what our middle school days have been 2 terms, right?
Yeah, I think everybody except the first Bush.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Clinton.
Yeah, but it was like
George W. Obama. That's like what?
Yep.
That's like 24 years right there, dude.
Basically, man.
3 presidents in 24 years. So.
Yep, it's 24 years of Illuminati and lizard people. No. I'm joking, man. But no, it's trippy though, man. It's crazy to think about, and like. But they say, though, too, that for, like, most presidents, like, in their first term, they're just worried about becoming president again.
Yeah.
So they try to fulfill, like, the promises they made, but they kind of hold back. Like, they're a little more conservative, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, in their second term, it's like, all right, I got nothing to lose.
Yeah, because
I'm going for it.
You won't get reelected the third term because you can't, right? So I was like, all right,
yeah.
It's time to go gung-ho, motherfucker.
You know? So, I don't know, man. We'll see if Trump gets elected again. He might just go ham.
He probably will get elected again, just based on, I don't know, everything.
Yeah. Well, they're having another, like, Democratic debate tonight.
Yeah, so, I saw that.
Maybe see how that goes, dude. I don't know, man. Looks like we're kind of getting towards the end of it here, dude.
I think so, buddy.
Yeah, you got any other big predictions or anything, man?
I think I don't know. I think Southeast Asia just will be the place to be in like for the next like 5 to 10 years for sure. Just all of Southeast Asia, not just Vietnam in particular, but like this whole area is just like a really good hub for the future because it's still this like growing mentality. So I think it'll be like maybe like kind of future like Europe-ish kind of location.
Nice, man, for sure. But yeah, it's safe to say that your outlook is pretty positive, though, huh?
For sure. For sure.
Cool, man. Cool.
Well, you any other predictions outside of Japan?
You know, yeah, I just think that like Korea's not gonna give up its nukes, and I feel like Japan and Korea are still gonna hate each other, but they'll like be united for their hate for North Korea. And if Trump gets back in, he's gonna try to mess with Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then I guess just depending on what Vietnam does, like maybe they're slick enough to like, you know, stroke his ego and, you know, keep boning him.
Probably.
Nah, but it's hard to say, man. Like, yeah, I got a positive outlook too, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think things will be pretty good, but It's just like how many bumps in the road are there going to be, you know?
Yep, for sure, dude.
Yep. Right on, man. Well, that does it for another fresh episode of Dudes in Asia. The future of the Asian continent is uncertain, but looking at the current situation and what has happened before, we can get some insight into the future. Countries have tourism booms and clashes of cultures. Economies go up and down. Relationships get friendly and then strained. I'm a big believer in the power of people and their power to do good. Maybe a rough ride, but I think in the long game, things will work out.
Well said, my man. I can never follow you up, so. This is Triple N signing out. Be sure to check out our blog at dudesinasia.blogspot.com or hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/dudesinasia.
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, search for @DavidHater. That's @DavidHar. Thanks again for listening. We'll be enjoying a much-needed vacation. You can still enjoy some of our social media content while we're away, and we'll let you know when we'll be back on the design. Peace out.
Peace out, guys.